Teams for this afternoon at McEwan's Belle Vue, Wakefield Trinity side, number 1 Gary Spencer, 2 Lee Child, 3 Adrian Flynn, 4 Steve McGowan, 5 Dio Powell, 6 Nigel Wright, 7 Billy Conway, 8 Ian Marlowe, 9 Brian Noble, 10 Johnny Thompson, 11 Ian Gildart, 12 Nigel Bell, 13 Richard Slater. Substitutes for Trinity today, Wayne Flint, number 14, and number 15 John Hurst. The mascots this afternoon, Alan and David White, who both go to Redillion School. Alan's 12, David's 13. Alan's hobbies are playing rugby. In position is full-back, and his favourite player is Nigel Wright. David likes playing rugby for Stanley in football. His position's wing, and his favourite player is Nigel Wright. The third mascot is Lydia Frances Conway. She's age 4. She goes to Church of England School at Normanton. Hobbies are reading and sport, and her favourite player is her dad, Billy. Favourite food is toast. And Leeds just coming out onto the field. The Leeds team for this afternoon. At full-back, number 1 Alan Tate. Number 2 is Jim Fallon. And 3 Kevin Iro. 4 Craig Innes. 5 Francis Cummins. 6 we see George Mann. 7 Gary Schofield. 8 Neil Harmon. 9 James Lowes. 10 Harvey Howard. 11 Zassini for Milo. 12 Richie Ayres. And loose forward number 13 Gary Mercer. The substitutes for Leeds this afternoon at number 14 Adrian Morley, 15 Marcus Vesicopoulos. Last match of the season, the 1994-95 campaign at McEwan's Belle Vue. Not going to make any difference to the league standings. Leeds are looking for a good run today as they're at Wembley next week in the Silk Cut Challenge Cup final. And this could be the last match that we see down at McEwan's Belle Vue in this present guise, due to the formation of the Super League starting in earnest next March. But of course we'll be going ahead from October to the beginning of 1996. Whether we're playing here or somewhere else, whether we're playing in the guise of Wakefield Trinity or the Wakefield Met side, or whether we're playing as a Calder side merging with neighbours Castleford and Featherstone, who really knows. It's a nice glorious day, good conditions for good open rugby, and I should imagine both teams will be looking to put a good display on. Nigel Ryan gets the match underway. All fielded well by Gary Schofield. And Leeds getting to within 15 metres of the own line there. And straight away the referee, Mr. Tennant, pinning Wakefield Trinity for offside. And there's a little bit of argy-bargy going on straight away. Tempers flying high already. Looks like Adrian Flynn wearing the number 4 shirt. He's actually down in the programme as number 3. Mr. Tennant blowing his whistle ferociously there. And Mr. Tennant laying the law down in these early stages. So Gary Schofield kicking the ball into touch, still inside the Leeds half. James Lowes to restart. And Mr. Tennant again blowing his horn, getting the Wakefield Trinity back on side. This is going to give Leeds good field position. Only had a minute of the match gone yet, and the ball has hardly been in play. I think there's one tackle being made. There's a Tennant pointing back, telling him to get back the 10 yards, and there's a blatant forward pass there to Neil Harmon, which he chooses not to see. James Lowes acting half. Neil Harmon, the first receiver. Zassini Famal on the run, he's the dummy run, it comes back to the blind. Gary Schofield onto Gary Mercer. Gary Mercer, good run there, stopped just a metre short. James Lowe's acting half. Swing the ball out to the open side. Gary Schofield, first receiver. That's a long looping pass there. Nigel Wright tried to intercept. The ball came, and Leeds fumbled the ball there, and it's picked up by Lee Child on the right wing. Steve McGowan, and Steve McGowan playing in number 3, Adrian Flynn playing in number 4, despite what the team sheet read. And Mr. Tennant really laying the law down with this offside rule. That's 3 penalties in the first 2 minutes. Good long kick there by Nigel Wright. Finding touch about 22 metres away from the Leeds line. Gives Wakefield Trinity a good field position to build an attack. And Brian Noble today playing the hooking role. We'll get the match restarted. Ian Marlowe. And again, Mr. Tennant making known that he wants these players back the 10 metres. Both sides have got to realise that Mr. Tennant means business. Nigel Bell trying to squirm his way through there. Brought down by good Leeds tackling. Noble on to Billy Conway. Billy Conway to Nigel Wright, trying to jink his way through there. Met by Gary Mercer and a senior for Milo. The ball coming to the left wing. It's Billy Conway, switches back to Dio Powell's running the angle. Straight into Gary Mercer. Of course, the Leeds players looking for the place at Wembley for next week. They'll all want to put a good show on. Brian Noble switches it back. Johnny Thompson pumping them legs. He slips the ball out. Gary Spencer there. Gary Spencer going for the line. And he's over the line, but he's held up on his back. Mr. Tennant right on the spot. It's good attacking there by Wakefield. Good defence by Leeds, just to hold him up over the line. A good piece of play there from both sides, Stuart.
Yes, a couple of penalties from both sides, putting the attack on, and a bad pass from Leeds set Wakefield up in this position, and now Nigel Wright's running across the field. A good defence there from Leeds, holding a man up, Gary Spencer on his back over the line, and Wakefield certainly they'll want to improve on last week's showing against Castleford. So I expect a big game from the likes of Nigel Wright today. The feeling is that when Nigel Wright plays, Wakefield play. So it's Leeds defending on their own line. Just 2 or 3 metres short, Wakefield up to play the ball. Again, it's Johnny Thompson who's doing the run around in the middle of the field. Play right under the post, just coming away to the left-hand side. Ian Gildart, the former Wigan man, is brought down just 5 metres short, and we're up to the last tackle now. Nigel Wright puts a crafty crossfield kick in. Offside decision there against Ian Marlowe. And a lead off, I think, there for Leeds.
Yeah, I can't really see from this position, Stuart, whether he's offside or not, but the referee was straight on the spot, he was straight on the whistle. He had no doubts it was offside. So that's another penalty to Leeds for the offside decision. Running the ball in hard there with Neil Harmon, slips the ball back out to James Lowes. Gary Schofield over to George Mann playing his standoff role today. Craig Innes running across the field. He's caught there by Steve McGowan. And Leeds there just dancing about a little bit, not making a great deal of ground forward. The defence holding out from Trinity. Gary Mercer all swung straight. Brought down there by Brian Noble, assisted by Nigel Bell. James Lowes shouting for the play to get on. Richie Ayres, of course, looking for a place at Wembley. Gary Schofield, Kevin Ira there fumbling the ball. Mr. Tennant says the ball went backwards. Chased by Adrian Flynn. Adrian Flynn gets hold in. The ball's out to Jim Fallon, who was in off the wing. And Jim Fallon trying to dance through the middle there. I think swinging arm coming in there from Dio Powell. It's George Mann. Little kick through from George Mann. Will be fielded there by Lee Child. And Lee Child running through the middle there. That's a good break there from Lee Child. He's dancing around. He's just dropped there by Harvey Howard. Chased by James Lowes all the way. Gary Spencer running the ball in. And there's nobody backing up, and the ball bobs out there with the ferocity of the tackle. Run again by Sini Familo. And that's a good run by Familo, but he's not backed up by his Leeds teammates. Eventually tackled there made by Richard Slater. Mercer brought down well there by his opposite number, Richard Slater, the Wakefield tackling machine. Lowes onto Schofield. Schofield out wide. That's a poor pass from Schofield. goes to nobody, but that's good backing up by Leeds. Alan Tate into the line. Fortunately, Alan Tate slips. Still about 12-13 metres into the own half for Leeds. And shouts for a forward pass there. To me, it didn't look too bad. Now the Leeds forwards making good ground from this first receiver. So again to Gary Schofield, who bobs one over towards the Lee Child's wing. Oh, and Lee Child letting the ball bounce. Fortunately, gets it second attempt. It's a good chase there by Leeds. Gary Spencer, ex-Leeds man, of course, there, trying to make ground through the Leeds defence. Adrian Flynn playing in the centre position today. He's trying to run round Jim Fallon, and it's a good run round Jim Fallon there. Then decides, of course, he was going to get bundled into touch, so he decided to make it safe. Johnny Thompson, Ian Marlowe just fumbling the ball there. They're giving a double knock on there. Mr. Tennant giving the first knock on, so we head and feed to Leeds.
So Leeds in, trying to take advantage of the slip by Ian Marlowe right on halfway. With their first heading ball of the afternoon. So Gary Schofield in to feed the scrum. A job he hasn't had for a while at Leeds. George Mann just pushes off Nigel Wright there. And Leeds take play into the Wakefield half of the field. Schofield not really aware of what's going on around him at dummy half there. And finally drops off for the scene in fine Marlowe. James Lowes, that's better play Leeds. Richie Ayres now, looking to burst up down the middle. That's a great ball to Alan Tate. Tate stretching out there. Takes the tackle 22, 33 metres from that Wakefield Trinity line, middle of the field. Schofield now. We're going to put the ball out for George Mann. Mann sticking again. Puts Craig in his throw there. That was a great pass there from George Mann. Leeds 10 metres from the Trinity line, pressing strongly. Gary Mercer goes himself from acting half, runs across the face of the post, towards the post, should I say, and these brought down. Leeds making no ground whatsoever in that play. Switch of play there from James Lowes. Neil Harmon's driving for the line. And again, he couldn't get the ball away to Craig Innes, who runs into the in goal. Harmon's brought down, and Leeds with James Lowes will play the last tackle out with the ball in the hands of Gary Schofield. Schofield's kick is put back, and that's going to be the sixth tackle. Referee says there was no play made for that by Billy Conway. Schofield kicks through, had to play the ball. And Ray Tennant's not waved the tackle count clean, which he certainly should have done. And now Brian Noble, who's made progress, but referee says James Lowes, I think, was offside, so Wakefield get their third penalty of the game. And it's going to be Nigel Wright, who a lot of speculation as to his future. Here at Wakefield Trinity, or Calder, if the club should merge. But my information is he's heading back to Wigan, where he's earmarked for loose forward for next season. And good tackling there by Richie Ayres, James Lowes. And Johnny Thompson now. Wakefield using the big forwards to drive down the middle of the field. The set-up position, some 22 metres from the Leeds line. Nigel Wright now. Switch of play there for Conway. Conway puts Steve McGowan away, and a good tackle from Innes just brought McGowan down. Flynn. Academy International, Adrian Flynn, brother of course, is on the subs bench this afternoon. So that's back for Nigel Wright, and he'll certainly try to open up the count with a drop goal, but that was a pretty poor attempt from Nigel Wright, never really got off the ground. Alan Tate picks up for Leeds. And now Jim Fallon will have a drive out. No gap there for Fallon. 3 Wakefield men bring him down. And Leeds will use Craig Innes to try and take play outside the 20 metres. And a penalty, so rather predictable in his penalties this afternoon, Mr. Tennant.
That's right, Stuart. I think we'll get fed up of hearing his whistle after a while. But if the players are offside, he can't do anything about it. He's got to give the penalty. He'll get slagged off by the crowd if he doesn't blow for offside, and he gets slagged off if he does. So, in a bit of a no-win situation, the referees, I'm afraid. Lee's driving just into the Trinity half there. Tackled by Johnny Thompson. That's Harvey Howard with a good storming run there, 10 metres inside the Trinity half. He's going over towards the left wing there. Gary Schofield holding the pass up. And the ball comes loose and Trinity get the ball back. I think Johnny Thompson there about to make the tackle and he's jumped on by the Leeds defence. Must have shouted held, so he's given the penalty. It's a good long raking kick into touch by Nigel Wright. And it's a Tennant preventing a quick restart there, and he's holding the clock up. He's going over towards the dugout. I know somebody's been shouting something at him. He's having a word with somebody saying, I'm the gaffer this afternoon. Trinity trying to get a quick restart there, and for some reason somebody shouted something he didn't like and he held the clock up. So after all that, Brian Noble to restart, Ian Marlowe, the first receiver, and a good tackle there by James Lowes, copybook stuff around the legs. Ian Gildart, Brian Noble going on his own. Ian Gildart was expecting that. Billy Conway done me half. Johnny Thompson. We're getting one man in at the moment and nobody backing up, not looking for the pass. The ball comes out there. Gary Spence takes it. The referee waits play on. Gary Spence and Jinkin win about 5-6 metres from the line and shouting for a swinging arm in at the tackle. Nigel Wright switched it back in. Billy Conway takes the ball. He's jinking about. There's nobody to pass to. So eventually he just takes the tackle back to where they were on the last tackle. It's the fifth tackle now. So Adrian Flynn dams it in. Oh, and Jim Fallon takes it well there. If Jim Fallon had let that go, I think it'd have gone dead into touch. There's a lot of meat behind that kick from Adrian Flynn. Kevin Iro. He's brought down there by the second row, Nigel Bell. Ball's over again with Schofield, Mercer, Innes, McGowan and Lee Child bring Innes to ground. Still about 12 metres inside their own half. And Leeds bring the ball out again. Schofield, George Mann playing at the standoff row. So long pass out there to Tate. It's Kevin Iro, Jim Fallon. And Jim Fallon's got pace and he's just been Dio Powell. He's just been Richard Slater, but Gary Spencer makes a beautiful tackle on him there. Good tackle there to bring Jim Fallon down. Kevin Iro comes to the blind side, back to Fallon. I think Fallon's hoping he wasn't going to get the return ball there after that burst downfield. The ball's out the centre there to Schofield, a man back inside to Harmon, and there's a yawning gap. And Neil Harmon just strolls in there for a try about 5-6 metres aside the left-hand post, with about quarter of an hour of the match gone. It's a good try there by Leeds, well worked by Schofield in the centre there, Stuart.
Yes, and some good play there from George Mann. A good break from Jim Fallon. Thought he might have had the legs, couldn't see Kevin Iro inside him or couldn't get the pass away. And when the ball was whipped out there, George Mann opened up a huge gap for Neil Harmon, who doesn't score very many tries even. I think that's only his second of the season. I think if Ray Tennant allows the sides to play football, we might see some this afternoon. It is a difficult job, as we've already heard, with the crowd shouting get him on side at every conceivable opportunity. And it is one of Ray Tennant's fortes, is offside. I think he penalised Leeds at Salford something like 20 times for offside. Francis Cummins then charged with the kicking duties this afternoon in the absence of Graham Holroyd. Successful. So Leeds have a 6 points to nil lead this afternoon at Belle Vue.
Nigel Wright to restart after the conversion there by Francis Cummins, putting Leeds up 6 points to nil. Wakefield had some good play and Leeds had some good play, and they just had the opening chance there with Harmon. The referee calling the sandboy over there, but Nigel Wright doesn't need him. And the ball's deep there. It's into the in-goal area of Leeds. Leeds run it back out. It's about 18 metres away. And Francis Cummins coming in off the wing there. Mercer again, another good run from Mercer. Certainly makes good ground as this Kiwi Mercer. Neil Harmon, the try scorer, bounces off Adrian Flynn. Brought down there eventually by Ian Marlowe. James Lowes. Harvey Howard. Harvey Howard brought down with a good tackle from Brian Noble. And I've seen refs give that as a knock-on before. Don't think he actually lost control of the ball, but placing it down on the floor before he actually gets up, I've seen referees give that as a penalty. And Dio Powell to run the ball back out. And he's met with a good tackle there from Craig Ennis. And Lee Child trying to run the ball away from his own danger area. He's met by two defenders from Leeds. Steve McGowan running back into the centre of the pitch. And the ball's lost. And Mr. Tennant gives it as the knock-on. Bad place to knock on, 20 metres from your own line. That'll be a head and feed there to Gary Schofield. Richard Slater just jogging back, take his position up in the scrum after he's had a bit of attention from the physio. The referee letting the scrum form without Richard Slater in. Alan Tate going on the blind side. There's a big gap on the blind side. Oh, and that was an open chance there for Francis Cummins. It's fortunate for Wakefield that Francis Cummins dropped that ball because the line was wide open for him. Recovered there by Gary Spencer, Johnny Thompson. Billy Conway, Ian Gildart. And seeing Gildart back after an injury spell. And Brian Noble. They make the 10 metres there, looking one way, jinking the other, making the ground from dummy half. Billy Conway, Nigel Wright, kicking the ball down, that's going to find touch. And that's a good kick from Nigel Wright there. About 10 metres away from the Leeds line. Feeling good field position, but of course the scrum will go down, it'll be head and feed to Leeds. We must have had about 3 or 4 minutes now without a penalty. Things are looking up a little bit. So the scrum forms Gary Schofield to feed, which is exactly what all scrum halves do nowadays. Jim Fallon trying to bust through the defence. And Kevin Iro stopping there. It's back to George Mann. George Mann brought down by Ian Marlowe. James Lowes, Gary Mercer again. Good pass out there from Mercer to Innes. He switches it back into Francis Cummins. Now this boy can run, they've got to stop him. Rich Ayres. Mr. Tennant again. I just mentioned that we haven't had a penalty for a while. I should have kept my mouth shut. Another penalty for offside. Is that 8 we've had up to Press Stewart?
Yes, that's 9 penalties at the moment. So all of them for offside, which is the same Mr. Tennant's 40. Penalty count at Salford absolutely horrendous. And Assini Faimalo will drive on for Leeds. It's Ian Marlowe, spins off. And big Ian Marlowe, who came from Hull, from Beverley Rugby Union Club originally. Rocked Faimalo in the tackle. Harvey Howard drives forward. Leeds switch play now with Schofield. Gap was there, and that's a great tackle from Nigel Wright and Richie Ayres. George Mann. Oh, George Mann skipped his way past the first defence. Alan Tate's lost the ball over the line. Referee says that's a knock-on. Tate claims he was wrenched out, but that's another missed chance for Leeds. And really, Alan Tate should have scored there. Wakefield have head and ball at the scrum. 3rd missed chance for Leeds then. Once it's Cummins dropping the ball, and Gary Schofield's passing up the best over on the far side. George Mann just danced his way through there. So Billy Conway works the feed. Gary Spencer runs at George Mann, and it's out to Flynn now, using this Kevin Iro there. And Iro brings him down. Just wrapped him up round the neck, round the collar. And Dio Powell now. It's his turn to be Tackled by a couple of Leeds players. Brian Noble runs forward, and we've seen him do that over the years many times. Looks to have lost none of that ability to make ground from acting half. And Marlowe, and again Trinity using a big man, trying to drive forward for position. This time it's back to Nigel Wright. And Nigel Wright's kick this time won't find touch. It might go dead in goal. And Alan Tate just waits till it does, and Leeds will have a 20-metre tap. So we've been playing some 23-24 minutes now. Leeds still 6 points to nil in the lead. They've had most of the attacking chances, and their ability to turn them into points is been worrying coach Dougie Lawton. George Mann just takes the drive. Neil Harmon. So Leeds looking now for quick play the ball. Richie Ayres comes bursting under the ball. Through a couple of paper-thin tackles and takes play into the Wakefield half of the field. Now with the balls with Gary Schofield. He looked for runners, drops off inside for Mercer. Mercer's ball is out for George Mann. Mann again, step. Oh, that's a good ball, but it's put down there by Craig Innes. And Nigel Bell picks up for Wakefield. So again, Leeds not looking sharp at all this afternoon. Schofield's offside. Nigel Wright runs straight and hard into Gary Mercer there. Through the dummy, Nigel Wright. Flynn. And again it's Mercer and Harmon in at the tackle. So Wakefield now pressing strongly. Lee Conway leads all offside. And that's going to give Wakefield a chance to kick a penalty, so that penalty had to come eventually there. Ray Tennant was looking for the offside at every play.
That's right, Stuart. It seems like it's the only thing he does look for is the offside. There's been numerous forward passes on both sides to my mind, but he's not picked up once yet. A couple of debatable tackles for both sides as well, but offside seems to be the thing he's interested in. And say Leeds seem to be squandering the chances at the moment. Just picking up on what you said, they've had 2 or 3 clear-cut chances. And see if we can just cut the deficit by 2 points with this kick from Nigel Wright. Of course, this might be Nigel Wright's last game down at McCoon's Belle Vue. Nobody seems to know what his future holds. There's fundraising going on at the moment for Nigel Wright to keep him at Belle Vue. And he has stated categorically he does want to stay in a Super League team. But of course, there's going to be more Super League teams in one around this area, namely Wigan. And just slicing it in there by the far post, so that gives Wakefield Trinity the first points. And of course, that's 2 more points than we got at Easter Monday at Weldon Road. So that makes the current scoring Wakefield Trinity 2, Leeds 6. About 25 minutes of the match gone. Alan Tate to restart, keeps the ball low. And the ball's run back there by Lee Child. Yeah. Wayne Flynn to dummy half there, a blood-bin substitution for Brian Noble. Adrian Flynn, he's met by the Leeds front row. And Ian Marlowe comes into George Mann. Ian Marlowe, a difficult man to bring down. It's Wayne Flynn making the from dummy half, trying to play George Mann offside there, but sensibly George Mann left him. So I wonder if the referee had blown for offside had he touched him. I think somehow he might have done. That's a towering kick there from Nigel Wright. I think it's a little bit too much meat on it. That's absolutely beautifully taken by Jim Fallon in his in-goal area. Absolutely beautiful take. You can hear the traffic run up behind. Oh, that's a beautiful run there by Alan Tate. And he's got pace there, but Gary Spencer sticks to his man. Good fullback is Gary Spencer, he brought him down really well. The ball currently with Schofield. Back to, comes over to George Mann, Gary Mercer running to Schofield. James Lowe stood there. Innes, brought down by McGowan, but he released the ball to Francis Cummins. Francis Cummins not been in the game much yet. He usually has quite a few good runs as Francis Cummins. And James Lowe's. Good ball there, and that's a good tackle there by Steve McGowan. Richie Ayres running straight there into the 20-metre line. Just 20 metres to go. And Schofield, George Mann, back to Schofield. And ball there to Kevin Iro. Kevin Iro's marked well there. He slips the ball out beautifully to Fallon. He's brought down there by Richard Slater. And he's coming in for a little bit of treatment there by Richard Slater and Billy Conway. We need a little bit of venom into this game. It's Nigel Bell under it. He bounces off Nigel Bell. The ball comes back there to Cassini for Milo. Schofield over to George Mann. Playing out in the centre position. James Lowes, Harvey Howard on the run. Looking to bust over onto the line. Taking 3 men to get him down there. Big man is Harvey Howard. And Gary Mercer. Good try there, Gary Mercer. He's run all game up to press. I think he deserves the 2 points there, the 4 points there does Mercer. And again, they're not going to stop Gary Mercer from that range, Stuart.
No, certainly not, and it was well spotted there on that the blind side only had one marker, and that was the winger Lee Child, so really it was always going to be a try if Leeds could switch the ball that way. Fortunately, Gary Schofield spotted it as well, and Gary Mercer from that range, virtually unstoppable. Right, it's Kicko again, because I think this time it's on the full by Richie Ayres. Schofield just allowing him to the ball. Ayres running out. Oh, and strong running there from Ayres. Ayres is down the middle of the field. Nigel Wright brings him down. The Tennant also falls to the ground, much to the mirth of the crowd. Sonry he didn't give himself offside. And, Leeds player rock back there in the tackle. Well, I don't know how he manages to get a knock on from that as soon as he was facing his own line. And just Lee Child. Interesting that he wants the ball anyway. Allows Wakefield to have a hidden ball at a scrum. 30 metres from the Leeds line. So Leeds won't be happy that they've surrendered possession early in the tackle count. Nigel Wright finds McGowan and Wakefield running that ball across with Flynn. Flynn trying to take Kevin Iro on. Doesn't succeed. Iro just pushes him a little further toward touch. And Lee Child over on this side doubling up. James Lowes brings him down. So again it's back to the forwards now for the big drive. John Thompson bounces off Gary Mercer straight into the waiting arms of the two Leeds props, Harmon and Harry. Wayne Flynn. So no sign yet of Brian Noble coming back on the field. Thompson again, nine's Nigel Wright. Throws out a pass there that was going for anyone that decided to pick it up, and it was Steve McGowan who got the ball up to the last tackle, so you can expect a bomb from Nigel Wright if Leeds don't close him down. In fact, he's electing to run the ball. And that's a good try there coming in from Dio Powell. Leeds going to sleep there on defence, allowing too much room on the short side. Nigel Wright elected not to kick, and really what a way to score to try and stand the full back up.
Yeah, lovely try there from Dio Powell. I think everybody expected Nigel Wright to put the high bomb up, and the Leeds defence seemed to hold back that little bit. Give him time just to swing the ball out, and the gap was made. Nice side set from Dio Powell in under the post. And that's just the reply that Wakefield need. Of course, after providing that Nigel Wright gets his kick, it'll just give us a 2 points deficit. We've got almost as big a cheer for that try as when Mr. Tennant took a tumble. That's it, Nigel Wright makes the 4 points into 6. Just about 33 minutes of the match gone. So Alan Tate to restart. Trinity lagging 8 points to 10. Fielded there by Steve McGowan. Steve McGowan running straight back in. He's met there by James Lowes and Richie Ayres. Wayne Flynn. Lee Child. Billy Conway acting half. It's Adrian Flynn. Adrian Flynn breaking the first tackle there from Neil Harmon, but not getting away from Mercer and Mann. And Billy Conway, Ian Gildart, Ian Marlowe, Gary Spencer running the ball back towards the left hand side, looking for support, surrounded by 3 Leeds players there. Billy Conway. And there Wayne Flynn seeing a little gap. It's closed down nicely there by Richie Ayres, who gets a boot in the face, I think, as Wayne Flynn was trying to get up. Again, Nigel Wright shaping to kick. Billy Conway dabbing the ball through. I think Alan Tate will just let it go, but I think Alan Tate had to actually take the ball over there. Nigel Wright was breathing down his neck. And Mr. Tennant's given the drop out under the sticks. Goes the ball back to Wakefield. He can mount another attack. What we'll give for a try just before half time. Wakefield a little bit of sustained pressure at the moment. So Alan Tate to kick the ball out. And doesn't get a lot of length on that one. It's fielded there by Adrian Flynn. Adrian Flynn there running the ball in. Oh, that's a good run there by Adrian Flynn with 2 of the Leeds forwards round his neck. Dio Powell himself from dummy half. Oh, that's a beautiful bouncer straight off Gary Mercer. And he gets to within a couple of metres of the line. Billy Conway, Ian Gildart trying to bust through the defence. Brought down there by Neil Harmon, Nassif Marlowe. Billy Conway switching the ball back over. And the dummy runners there, Wayne Flynn trying to create a gap. Dummy halves, Billy Conway. Billy Conway coming his own way, Dio Powell. And that was a beautiful cover tackle there from Jim Fallon. Billy Conway just dabs the ball into touch. He's on the last tackle, didn't have a great deal of option. I think if they thought about that and spun the ball out into the open side, they might at least have a chance for a drop goal. So scrum will form, it'll be Gary Schofield to feed. As the ball comes out to Gary Schofield, Jim Fallon at standoff position, taking the ball at first man, running across the face of the goal then. He's brought down nicely by Steve McGowan. Oh no, it's Wayne Flynn. Gary Mercer there brought down well by Richard Slater. And Leeds trying to put everything into this attack. Oh, and lo and behold, here we have another penalty for offside. I think this game will perhaps not remember for this historic event of perhaps being the last game that Trinity are going to play in Trinity colours and at McHugh's Belle Vue, but perhaps the game of many penalties for offside. I think somebody in the dugout has already made a point about this, and Mr. Tennant's had a word with them. Harvey Howard running the ball in there. Good bustling run there by Howard. Leeds to bring the ball out. And the ball slipped there. Oh, that's a knock on there by Gary Schofield. It was a short pass, it bounced off his chest, but he gave the knock on. Oh, and believe it or not, we've got another penalty for offside. Well, to me there, I think the penalty should have been for the markers not being square as opposed to the players being offside. It amounts to the same thing, a penalty. But it is a different sign from the referee. So Wakefield now with about 2 or 3 minutes to mount an attack, plus any stoppages there may be. And Brian Noble back out of the blood bin. Ian Marlowe running the ball in. It's about 22 metres away from the Leeds line. Johnny Thompson pumping them legs, getting there well within the 20-metre area. Brian Noble, Billy Conway, Nigel Wright spins the ball out, Gary Spencer into line. Oh, and he makes Kevin Iro slip, and the ball's through there to Adrian Flynn, who can't get away from Harmon and Mercer. This is good Leeds tackling, but good Wakefield attacking. Nigel Wright trying to make the gap himself there. Passes the ball out. Steve McGowan, there's room on the outside. That's Lee Child. Francis Cummins to beat, but that's a good tackle there by Francis Cummins. Wakefield again mounting the attack back towards the left. That's Ian Gildart taking the tackle. It's on the last tackle. Nigel Wright will kick the ball over. Oh, and he makes a gap. He goes for himself. And can he beat the ball? And the referee's giving that the ball was dead. That can't have been very far off that dead ball line. From here, I thought he was just about to be that, Stuart.
Yes, I thought he was going to do it there. It was only a couple of inches at the most there. Kevin Ido gets up and plays the ball. Trinity man running up there. Schofield now finds Ido again. Ido looks for his winger who's come inside. Sini Marlow. Shoulder charge off by Ian Marlow, but that's good running from Marlow. Jim Fallon picks up. Can't get the ball away in the tackle. 4 tackles gone. Leeds in the Wakefield half of the field now. And Richie Ayres will run at Ian Marlow. Slip there when the gap wide open for him. And Lowes goes to that in half. Finds Mercer. Mercer puts the chip over. Runs into space. Collects the ball. Gary Spencer knocked on surely there. Referee says not. And, Mercer unlucky not to get there for the ball. Dio Powell. And that's good driving again there from Brian Noble. And then John Nigel Bell just Conway gets the ball out of the tackle, finds Ian Marlow, and the big prop just roaming around with the ball in his hand, like to pass out of the tackle, but can't do that. Nigel Wright will kick. That finds touch. And what could be the last action of the first half. The scrums at the moment there 4-3 in the favour of Leeds, and the penalty 6-5 also going to way of the Loiners. Gary Schofield should up the scrum count to 5 in the moment, but the clock could beat everyone. So Trinity will be reasonably satisfied after last week's 86-0 thrashing that they managed to keep Leeds to 10-8, but Leeds will be happy. So far they've picked up no injuries as they approach Wembley next week. Craig Innes now. Has to go himself there, almost through Nigel Bell's tackle. It's good cover there from the veteran in the Trinity pack. Alan Tate running out of room. Fine Marlow. Again play just inside the Wakefield half as we approach half time. There'll be 40 minutes up on the clock. George Mann tries to put Richie Ayres through a gap, gets the ball away to Harmon. That's good play. Innes now got space to run in. He can get Cummins away on the outside. Cummins will step back inside. And there goes a holder for the end of a very entertaining first half here at Belle Vue, in which Leeds have a 10 points to 8 lead, courtesy of the tries to Harmon and Gary Mercer. Francis Cummins conversion, Nigel Wright penalty on 24 minutes, and a Dio Powell try converted by Nigel Wright. The half-time score then, Leeds 10, Wakefield Trinity 8.
And Alan Tate restarts the match. The current score is Wakefield Trinity 8, Leeds 10. Lee Childs run the ball back in. He's met there by the substitute Adrian Morley, who's on for Harvey Howard. Brian Noble, Adrian Flynn, and Billy Conway, Johnny Thompson, Brian Noble. And the kick there from Nigel Wright is blocked, and waves the tackle count back to 1 as Billy Conway drops on the ball. Sometimes wonder whether it's worth actually blocking the kicks downfield. Ian Guild out there trying to get his way up to the halfway line. Ian Marlow, short pass there. Nigel Bell tries to jink his way around. Gary Schofield there, but slips. So Ian Morley. Marlow there to McGowan. McGowan dancing away there. Knocks Francis Cummins away, and that's a good run there by Steve McGowan. Brian Noble, Billy Conway, Nigel Wright. Ball out there to Richard Slater. Just Slater running the angle there, trying to break the defence. Trying to bring Adrian Flynn back on the inside. Adrian Flynn at dummy half. Nigel Wright dabs the ball through. Well, that's a good ball there. It's run for Dio Powell there, nearly scoring his second try of the match. Good kick through there by Nigel Wright. Speed of the ball there, just beating Dio Powell. James Lowes to restart the tap on the 20. George Mann, standoff, running the ball in. Neil Harmon. It's picked up and dumped to the floor there by Nigel Bell. Massini for Milo. Ian Marlowe sticking the shoulder in. McGowan clinging to him for dear life. Helped out there by Nigel Bell. James Lowes. By Schofield. Bringing Rich Ayres back on the angle. Rich Ayres beating Steve McGowan. Lee Child bringing him down. That's Lee Child having a spell at full back early in the season. Oh, and the ball there is dropped by Morley. The referee Ray Tennant there waiting for the advantage to Wakefield. There was none forthcoming, so he's blown for the knock-on. I think Adrian Morley there actually looking where he was going to be running rather than looking at taking the ball. Billy Conway scrum half to feed the scrum. About 10 metres into the Leeds half. Richard Slater. Ryan Noble, Ian Gildart running the blind side. Passing the ball out there, backed up by Johnny Thompson. Into Leeds territory. Ryan Noble acting half. Billy Conway onto Ian Marlowe. Ian Marlowe making the ground there. The three men around him looking to try and get the ball back to Billy Conway. Still on his feet. The ball there is knocked down. The referee waves a tackle count back to 1. I think James Lowes questioning that decision, but Ray Tennant was quite right there. Ryan Noble, Billy Conway, Johnny Thompson. Johnny Thompson charging in there to Gary Schofield. Knocks Gary Schofield back another 3 metres or so. Nigel Wright trying to run the angle. And he's straight there at George Mann. And the ball comes out there to Ian Gildart. Ian Gildart turning the tackle, looking for support. Ryan Noble acting half. Swings the ball out blind to Billy Conway. Bringing Adrian Flynn up the angle. A good run there from Adrian Flynn. He stopped 10 metres away from the Leeds line. Brian Noble, Nigel Wright, Nigel Bell stopping, going back towards the post. Ian Marlowe taps the ball up. It's a good high kick. He goes into the in-goal there and is diffused well there by Alan Tate. Alan Tate with the ball at the moment. And Jim Fallon making a run towards the wing. He's brought down there by 3 Wakefield defenders. Leeds again, slinging the ball back out to Jim Fallon. Jim Fallon, no room to move there. And Billy Conway coming a little bit late there with the knees. And Jim Fallon taking exception to that. The touch judge in, trying to split them up. Little Billy having a good go there. Came in a little bit late, caught Jim Fallon with the knees. When Jim Fallon got and played the ball, he took a bit of exception to it. The referee hadn't seen it. The touch judge didn't see it until the fracas erupted. And much to the ironic cheers of the crowd, the penalty going there towards Wakefield Trinity. The referee saying that Jim Fallon actually pushed Billy Conway away. He obviously didn't see anything wrong with the initial tackle. That's kicking to touch from Nigel Wright, about 30 metres away from the Leeds line. Restarted by Brian Noble. And Wakefield really could do with the points on the board early on in this second half. Ian Marlowe driving the ball about 22 metres away from the line. Johnny Thompson, these 2 prop forwards really getting through some work in this first receiver. Brian Noble waiting for the bodies to untangle themselves. Nigel Wright running the angle. Oh, it's a long looping pass there. Unfortunately, Dio Powell just couldn't take it. I suspect that could have been a little forward as well. Leeds being let off the hook a little bit there, Stuart.
That's a long ball from Nigel Wright, not taken, and that gives Leeds a chance to regroup with the scrum. Jim Fallon now. And for some reason, other Wakefield players taking a dislike to Jim Fallon this afternoon. Right up. And the referee stopped a promising move there. Billy Conway complaining and having something to say to Jim Fallon, and he should have let the advantage go. Leeds were well on a roll there. And Schofield now, just to compound matters, a diabolical kick for touch. And so Leeds, instead of being up the field in a try-scoring position, suddenly find themselves back in their own half through no fault of their own, except the referee, Ray Tennant's over elaboration and over fussiness. Nigel Wright just moving the ball on, not committing anyone with the ball. Dio Powell tries to run through Jim Fallon. Gildart offloading in the tackle. That's good play from Wakefield, but they're losing ground at the moment. But there's a chance now for Marlowe to bust through Schofield's tackle. Thompson, and Schofield brings him down. Billy Conway acting half, finds Adrian Flynn, who's looked Trinity's best attacking option this afternoon. Very strong and runner. And the ball must go back here for Nigel Wright. He's lining up for a drop goal. And he's missed that. And so Leeds will have a tap on the 20 metres. And Kevin Ira runs into space now. Just puts the hammer down. Good tackle from Nigel Wright. We'll line him up. Had another second bite at the cherry there, Nigel Wright. Now that should be a sin bin really. But we won't be getting one this afternoon. That's what the sin bin rule is supposed to be used for, professional foul. Schofield this time manages to find touch. Neil Harmon just lines up Brian Noble, and Noble, as he's done for so many years, shoulder down, round the legs, brings him down, textbook style. Tini Faimalo, that's a good drop off from George Mann. And Faimalo stood in the tackle there. Can't release the ball. Schofield now with the ball in his hands. Morley's the dummy runner. So far bringing Craig Innes through. The smallest of gaps there, and it was well policed by Wakefield. On the short side now, George Mann missed out there, and that's a bad pass, and it's gone nowhere, and Cummins will pick that up, and Cummins might even make something out of this. He doesn't, but that's due to Gary Spencer's good defence. James Lowes drops off for Neil Harmon. Adrian Morley, good ball out there. Richie Hayes up to the last tackle, just inches short. Leeds, good ball there from young Adrian Morley. James Lowes, he's not going anywhere. Through a predictable dummy there, and 4 Wakefield men bringing him down. And so Leeds will defend, and Brian Noble just makes the proverbial couple of metres. Lee Child, as all wingers do now, is taking the drive out and will look for the way across and through. Adrian Flynn. That's a good tackle from Adrian Morley on Flynn. And that's got to be a knock-on. Oh, that is a ridiculous decision there from Ray Tennant. Absolutely ridiculous decision from Ray Tennant. And it's time that things like that were stopped off. If you're watching the video, Mr. McCullum, that was definitely a knock-on. Well, I can't believe how he's given 6 more tackles there. The ball coming straight out of Thompson's arms and rolling a good yard forward before it was hit a Leeds player, rather than the Leeds player making a play for it. So Leeds not had much possession in this second half. In fact, we'll find out how much possession Leeds have got. How much possession have Leeds had, Rod? 2.5 minutes only in the second half. And now that'll go up because Tim Fallon manages to get the ball out of the tackle for George Mann. Tate and Leeds again coming up this countryside at the ground. And Tate's running, jinking. And finally runs into some heavy traffic in the middle of the field. And Gary Mercer drops off inside again for Kevin Iro, and the Beast just finds Gary Schofield. George Mann has to go himself. Man, Schofield's in support. That's good play. Nobody for Gary Schofield at this side. Richard Slater's in with the tackle, and now it's Gary Mercer's turn. Good tackle out wide there again from Richard Slater. So 4 tackles gone, and Schofield has the ball in his arms. Finds Kevin Iro. Iro stepping, looking to go himself. Finds Innes, and Innes won't thank him for that tackle, for that pass. That's the last tackle now, and Schofield, in fact, it's gone back to George Mann. And George Mann will find Tate. Tate steps Lee Chow with ease. Drills a ball to ground. And Leeds at last getting some possession and coming up the field.
That's right there, Stuart. I think the defence from Wakefield Trinity, they're very good, actually making Leeds look as if they were a bit short of ideas in attack. Eventually having to kick the ball into touch. So well into Trinity's 20-metre area. The ball out of the scrum with Steve McGowan at the moment. McGowan runs it into Craig Innes. Gets the ball out to Gary Spencer. Gary Spencer, little slip. Billy Conway switches a play back. Little Billy's taken around the head there, but the referee must say it was shoulder first. I must say the referee's come out with some very strange decisions. If they're not offside, he doesn't seem interested. And Gildart, Ryan Noble acting half. Johnny Thompson, the ball on there to Adrian Flynn. Adrian Flynn up to halfway. Noble, Billy Conway, Nigel Bell having a run. Nigel Bell straightening up there, breaking the first tackle. And Mr. Tennant there, the referee, waving the last tackle. Nigel Wright kicks the ball deep into Leeds territory. Alan Tate will have to field that for his own line. And he's chased and tackled well there by Dio Powell, 10 metres away from his own line. The ball's with Jim Fallon. Jim Fallon coming in for a little bit of treatment in this second half. The ball's with Familo. Familo making a good strong run there. And beats Steve McGowan. Steve McGowan has a second bite at him and gets him. Ably assisted there by Brian Noble. Gary Schofield. George Mann. George Mann brought down again by Brian Noble. Brian Noble on a good tackling stint. This is Morley, the substitute, runs straight into Ian Marlowe, takes him right around the ankles. And Schofield, nice big kick there. And the ball's fielded well by Spencer, with the Mr. Tennant at pointed to Francis Cummins. I think, not Francis Cummins, to the Leeds attack there, telling them offside. The ball's with Nigel Wright. And Johnny Thompson up there to Lee Child. Lee Child's taken well there by Innes. Johnny Thompson. Ian Marlowe. Ian Marlowe run into the Leeds half. And Billy Conway. Richard Slater. Nice long looping pass out there to Dio Powell. He did well to take that and did well as well to get the ball away. Adrian Flynn. And 10, 12 metres or so inside the Leeds half. Ball's out to Billy Conway. Billy Conway shaping to kick the ball. And the ball's going to be a little bit too long there. Dio Powell again chasing it. And Richard Slater. So that'll be another tap out to Leeds on the 20-metre line. And Francis Cummins coming in field there, looking for a bit of the action. Mercer. Got down well by Richard Slater. Harvey Howard. Harvey Howard back on the field. And the Tannoy announcer there shouting for people to cheer the Trinity lads on. At the moment everything was a little bit quiet. And the ball bobs out but goes backwards. And the Wakefield Trinity react to it first there. I think James Lowes was waiting for the ball to bounce into his hands, I think, there.
instead of bending his back for it. Nigel Bell running the ball in. Good cheers here from the Trinity crowd. Despite the mauling last week at Castleford, we seem to have a reasonable turnout of Trinity fans. Nigel Wright running the angle, trying to bring the defence. Good ball out there to Adrian Flynn. Adrian Flynn's running for the line, and he's caught there by 3 defenders from Leeds. That was a beautiful run there by Adrian Flynn. Nigel Wright trying to bully his way through, and he can't be inches off the line. The ball spun out there, that's Nigel Wright. Nigel Wright gets the ball back, waves the play back to one, and that's Steve McGowan. And he's actually given a forward pass. And Gary in the control room on the Tannoy, he's going loopy here, he's trying to get everybody going. And the ball there with Craig Innes. And Tennant shouting at everybody to get back. You see this match is heating up a little bit now. I think Wakefield sniffing that they could possibly have a victory here. Leeds not doing a great deal in attack in this second half. It's George Mann there trying to make the break. He was shadowed there by Steve McGowan and eventually made the tackle by Adrian Flynn. It's a knock on there from James Lowes. Craig Innes, Cummins, and he's obstructed there, blatantly obstructed by James Lowes, but he did get his man in the end. And Schofield, Mercer, and Leeds lose the ball again. It's picked up there by John Hurst. And Leeds looking very ordinary in attack in this second half. Not let Dougie Lawton's told them to take it easy so they don't get any injuries for next week at their trip to Wembley against the mighty Wigan, of course. But I shouldn't imagine they'll want to leave Belle Vue this afternoon with a loss. And Johnny Tom's coming for a bit of treatment there, and he slots a beautiful one on the end of the jaw from Mercer. And they're all in there. This game's been boiling since the kick-off of the second half. He didn't like the tackle from Mercer, and as he played the ball, he lunged and caught him on square on the jaw. And nobody messes, I'm afraid, with Johnny Thompson. And it's still going on. The referee's in there. I wonder how he's going to sort this one out. There's Ian Gildart in there. There's Billy Conway in there. Of course, Billy's had a couple of altercations with Jim Fallon. Nigel Wright kicks the ball away. Andy Kelly's on the field to see what's going on. The moment the clock's held up, and now the referee will sort this one out. As far as I could see, there was nobody offside at that incident. Mr. Tennant seems to have lost control of this game in the second half, Stuart. This game seems to have been boiling since the kick-off for the second half.
There's been one or two late and floppy tackles. And you think Johnny Thompson has got a yellow card there. Well, he can't really penalise Gary Mercer because Gary Mercer was just hit first. It's not a game where you cannot retaliate. You've got to defend yourself. And Gary Mercer was certainly the... Well, again, that's a ridiculous decision from Ray Tennant there. And the touch judge not giving him any help whatsoever. And he gives Leeds a penalty. So that must mean the rules then in rugby league are that you cannot defend yourself if you're attacked. You just have to stand there and be walloped. Because that's certainly all Gary Mercer did there. Defended himself. Leeds get the penalty, so I can't see any reason why he should be in the sin bin. So Leeds get the penalty. And the Sinify Marlowe drives forward, knocks Ian Marlowe out of the way. And Ray Tennant's certainly going to have to take a firm control of this game. A lot of men in at the tackle on Harvey Howard. One of whom is Nigel Bell. Leeds use the short side with Schofield, finds Ido. Ido just powers himself away there. Over in the corner for the try. That will probably seal the game for Leeds. Although there's quite a while to go yet. 61 minutes then, Kevin Iro. So Kevin Iro for Leeds' third try of the afternoon. And well worked short side there by Gary Schofield.
It's about 62 minutes of this match gone. There's a bit of stoppages from the bust up there between Johnny T and Gary Mercer. So Nigel Wright gets the game underway. The ball's taken there by the try scorer Kevin Iro, and he's met there by 3 men but manages to get away, and that's why they call Kevin Iro the beast. And the Wakefield tackling machine comes over to get hold of him, slips the ball nicely there. If Nigel Wright's going to get Gary Schofield, yes, Gary Schofield stops. I think if Gary Schofield had kept on, his momentum might just have taken him. Good covering there from the Wakefield defence, slinging the ball out quickly there to Tate. They loaded up on the far side. That's Iro, Richie Ayres, and Richie Ayres scores a try there. That was made with a good run from Kevin Iro from the restart. Wakefield didn't manage to close him down, and they didn't stop the Leeds attack until they were 10 metres away from the line. Quick ball straight out to the far right hand side, and scoring the try there from Richie Ayres. That was a well worked try from Leeds.
Yes, Kevin Iro did ever so well there from the break, from the kick-off to bring the ball away. Craig Innes was in support. The cover came across, and really when Kevin Iro's in that sort of form, there's not many defences will stop. He's galloping up the middle of the field. Thought he might have come outside Gary Spencer and just dropped his shoulder there and took Gary Spencer on, but he's certainly done enough, and Leeds have scored 2 tries in 3 minutes. 18 points to 8. Just the 1 goal from Cummins. He tries to harm and Merson Iro and Ayres. And just a 1 try to Wakefield from Dio Powell on the 2 kicks from Nigel Wright. Gives us a score of Leeds 18, Wakefield Trinity 8. We've been playing about 67 minutes now, so coming approaching the last 12 minutes of this game. And Leeds look firmly in control now. Gary Schofield brings Richie Ayres on a gallop. There's a big gap there if Ayres can beat the first man. He can't. Cummins up the middle of the field, dancing, weaving, trying to take play on. Leeds will be looking for somebody to take a drive here, and it'll be George Mann. And again, Iro's away now, and Iro this time will take Gary Spencer on. Oh, just absolutely run through Gary Spencer there, and Kevin Iro's decided he wants to play football now. It's taken 67 minutes for him to do so, but he's now over for his 2nd try, and Leeds his 3rd try in 5 minutes. So virtually unstoppable Kevin Iro when he decides to play like that.
That's right, Stuart. There they went. Gary Spencer marked him all the way, but unfortunately just sidestepped him and he couldn't get the last tackle in. Looks like the Trinity Fencers tiring a little bit. And the 3 scores there in 5 minutes has altered the whole complexion of the game. Wakefield Trinity look to be in with a shout, playing good attacking football and good defence, but they've broken free with 3 good tries of Leeds in this second half. I think Wakefield calm it down, try and get the first man, not letting the Leeds attack form into any sort of line, and hopefully get back with a couple of scores of his own. And Francis come in, pops the goal over. So increases their lead now. 8 points to Wakefield Trinity. 24 points to Leeds. All right, Raymond. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the substitute. Morley there, brought down the 20-metre line by Marlowe. Richie Ayres, the try scorers in the last 5 minutes. The Wakefield attack look to be getting together again now. We need to drop this first man. That's Harvey Howard. He's going nowhere. I'm trying to get the ball out, but shielded well there by Ian Marlowe. George Mann there. It's away from John Hurst. And running across the field there, runs straight into Richard Slater. Managed to get away from Richard Slater. He don't miss many tackles. You have Marcus Vasakopoulos on the field. It's a high ball there, well taken there by Gary Spencer. Gary Spencer run the ball back in. Tackle there by James Lowes. Nigel Wright acting half. The runner there's Lee Childing off the wing. Doing some work down the middle of the field. And he managed to get away from from George Mann. Up to the halfway line, good run there by Lee Child. Billy Conway, Ian Gildart looking for support. He's brought down by the substitute Vasakopoulos. Conway, right, onto John Hurst, the Wakefield substitute. Comes back in field and he's caught there by Harvey Howard. Billy Conway. Good long ball out there, misses one man out to Adrian Flynn. Adrian Flynn's going for the line. He's brought down there by two Leeds defenders in the shape of Fallon and Morley. Nigel Wright, good short pass there to Ian Marlowe. And that was on the last tackle. Vasakopoulos losing the ball there from the tackle, Nigel Wright. And the Ray Tennant got his whistle to his mouth. I'm sure there was going to actually blow for the knock-on. He decided not to. He did have his whistle to his mouth and he looked at the touch judge. The touch judge said the ball went backwards. Richie Ayres. Richie Ayres trying to get the ball away. Billy Conway won't let him. George Mann, a poor pass there from Leeds. It's picked up well there by Wakefield. Adrian Flynn there trying to get out of the tackle. Having an altercation there with James Lowes. And believe it or not, we've got another penalty here for offside. Billy Conway wanted a quick start there. Nigel Bell running straight for the post. Gary Spencer got in acting half. Ian Marlowe, nobody to pass to. Ian Marlowe getting just a couple of metres away from the Leeds line. It's a good shot though. I thought it was going to be a good short ball there. And Steve McGowan comes in at the slip pass from right. Out to Billy Conway. Billy Conway slinging the ball out there to Gary Spencer. Gary Spencer trying to make the gap. Richard Slater backing him up, but he's wrapped up well by two Leeds defenders. Billy Conway. Dio Powell. Dio Powell stopped dead in his tracks there by Fallon and Iro. Good attacking player from Wakefield Trinity. It's with Marlowe. Good quick hands there. Nigel Wright. A short slip pass there to John Hurst, who couldn't manage to hold on to the ball. And the ball comes out quickly to Francis Cummins. Francis Cummins having a good run there, and he's brought down eventually by Lee Child. Nigel Wright missing the initial tackle. James Lowes. Vasakopoulos. Basketball pass over to George Mann. Mercer having a good run there. He's brought down by Dio Powell. As he gets up, he's clattered again there by Richard Slater. Tim Fallon acting half. George Mann. Gary Schofield. Innes slips the ball back inside to Alan Tate. Alan Tate just strolls past Gary Spencer for another score under the post. With about 72 minutes of the match gone, I will say that's the match clinching try there from Alan Tate, because no doubt the 2 points will be tagged on, giving them a 30 points to 8 lead. A well worked try there, Stuart.
Yes, Leeds had used the short side over on the far touchline and brought the ball back. Craig Innes got the ball and Alan Tate was inside, and the defence just opened up and Gary Spencer didn't even attempt to go for Alan Tate. There was no way he was going to get across. Wrong-footed. Just watched as Tate went under the post for another try for Leeds. So it's all gone Leeds' way from the 61st minute. 11 minutes, 4 tries. And Leeds were a bit at 6s and 7s. Kevin Iro suddenly decided that he was going to take matters into his own hand, and he had a big role in the 3 tries. So Cummins converts, and it's 30 points to 8. And Francis Cummins gets his goal kicking average back up to 50%. And now it's no surprise at Wakefield and Nigel Wright just taking the time as they come to put the ball back. About 6 or 7 minutes left for play. Richard Slater goes off. Ripple of applause from the Wakefield supporters. Good tackling stint from, as ever, from Richard Slater. Nigel Wright kicks the ball downfield, and Gary Schofield will find Adrian Morley. And Morley just brings the ball. Cummins now looks to force his way through, takes the short route, ducks his head, goes underneath to Wakefield and bottle him up. Richie Ayres has had a big game this afternoon for Leeds. He's certainly tested his any problems with his foot out before the big Wembley showdown next week. Gary Mercer, another one who's been out for a couple of games with the groin strain. He looks okay this afternoon. Alan Tate bobs it over the top. He's kicking towards the touchline side. It won't go. The ball bounces wickedly, and again wickedly for Dio Powell. Powell picks up, and a good run there. He's ended with Vasilakopoulos and Gary Mercer. 5,325. Hardy souls here today, and a lot of those have come from Leeds. Adrian Morley in at the tackle there with James Lowes. And Wakefield now with Nigel Wright. He's not run much with the ball this afternoon. He decides to run now. He's been straining it up at number George Mann, who brings him down with what can be described as consummate ease. Flynn bobs the ball out through the windscreen, and Leeds will have head and ball at a scrum on halfway with about 5 minutes left for play. So Vasilakopoulos is in fact there's another James Lowes is coming off now, and Neil Harmon will come back on. So Leeds certainly spelling the forwards this afternoon. So Vasilakopoulos will go to hooker. Gary Schofield works the feed for Leeds. Innes drops off ball there for Fallon. Fallon finds Tate. Tate's tackle there in unusual fashion. Neil Harmon running straight into Nigel Wright, making progress. 5, 6, 7 metres. He drags the defence with him. Now it's Harvey Howard's turn. Tackled 27 metres from the Trinity line with Vasilakopoulos at acting half, looking for runners. Takes play the short side. A big gap opens up there for Vass, and he's able to make a good 10 metres before he's brought down. A knock on awarded there against Marcus. So the scrums at the moment 8-5 to Leeds, and the penalties 9-7 also in favour of the Liners. Wakefield have the ball back with Adrian Flynn.
Thank you there, Stuart. Mounting an attack now from their own 20-metre line with ball with John Hurst. Gary Spencer, Lee Child. Child running straight into Craig Innes there. Finished off by Rich Ayres. Gary Spencer, Billy Conway, Nigel Wright. And while he was waiting to take that ball there, I think he did well to take that ball there. Could see that Gary Schofield breathing down his neck. Billy Conway onto Ian Marlowe. Wakefield put up a good fight here in this second half, despite the score line. Ball there fielded by Jim Fallon. He's brought down by John Hurst and Johnny Thompson. Alan Tate trying to bring Innes back on the inside. The Wakefield forwards got through good tackling stints and looking a little bit tired now with only 3 or 4 minutes to go to the end of this match plus stoppages. Marcus Vass playing on the dummy half roll there. And short ball there from Schofield to Rich Ayres, put Rich Ayres into space. He looks for George Mann. George Mann to Mercer. And Mercer there puts the ball out to Nairo. Nairo puts the ball to ground. I think that was a forward pass anyway, but he did actually manage to knock it on. Looks to me like Kevin Nairo had actually overrun the ball a bit there. Beautiful pass in the centre field there from Gary Schofield that put Rich Ayres into the open space. Delayed it just long enough for the defence to come to him. And scrum will form there with Trinity getting the feedback and Billy Conway taking it straight from the scrum. Good run there from Billy Conway. Still about 8-9 metres in his own half. Nigel Wright, Wayne Flynn trying to take the defence on. Wayne Flynn brought down eventually by Craig Innes. John Hurst. And Wakefield really could do with a consolation try to just give them something for the efforts they've put in this second half. Johnny Thompson, beautiful flick pass there to Steve McGowan. Steve McGowan's going for the corner, and that's the try I was just calling for there. That's the try that Trinity deserved. It's not going to make any difference to the score. With about a minute to go to full time, Steve McGowan goes for the corner, goes centre play, took the ball about 22 metres out, ran past the first defender and straight into the corner. It's a good consolation try there for Wakefield Trinity. Makes the score look a little bit more respectable. And we've just gone on to full time, 80 minutes has elapsed. And it's a good kick, it's got the direction. Oh, and it slots over, that's a beautiful kick there from Nigel Wright. Hey, ironically shakes his head there. And that's the end of the match, that's the last game at McEwan's Belle Vue. There's a lot of cheers there from both sides. I think we've seen a good game of rugby league football this afternoon. The score being 30 points to Leeds and Wakefield Trinity ending up with 14. So it's a convincing win on the scoreboard by Leeds, but I don't think they found it easy by any stroke of the imagination.
Good finish there for Wakefield. Great try from McGowan. Seen a good game of rugby this afternoon. Players just shaking hands, and Leeds coming up to this far end here to salute the fans who will be following them to Wembley next week. They've had a big part to play in Leeds' success this season, and Leeds coming up to a man and applauding the fans behind the post on the left hand side. Good play by Leeds, and that's the end of the game then. Leeds 30, Wakefield 14.
Cheers, mate.